Imagine, if where you work, there are so many employees, but your boss or your customers just keep looking for you. Even often, other employees are not considered there. In such conditions, of course you feel proud, but the pressure becomes even greater. Such is the fate of the kohaku, the red and white koi, a type of koi that is considered the true, or king, of all koi fish. Lucky is the pond owner and enjoys watching a kohaku koi swim among the lily pads. Red and white color, a blend of contrasts, inherent in the body of the kohaku. A magnificent beauty, like the colors that dance on the surface of the water. The kohaku is one of the oldest and most beloved koi and is often the most loved by koi enthusiasts, and the heart of koi keeping. Kohaku is the most commonly won, Grand Champion, title in Japanese shows. This is because kohaku is Japan's most famous fish, and breeders of koi spend most of their time creating the best specimens. Not surprisingly, the kohaku type is the best-selling type of all existing types of koi fish. And also, in the world of the koi fish hobby, there is a saying that the hobby for koi fish starts with kohaku and will end with kohaku. Isn't it a bit strange? Because there are many other types of koi, why does it have to be kohaku? Kohaku, which means red and white in Japanese, is one of the most popular varieties of koi fish. This fish is considered one of the big three koi varieties, along with sanki and showa. In 2020, the kohaku type of koi fish sold for up to $1.8 million at the Niigata koi auction. It is this high auction value that makes the kohaku the most expensive koi variety. Crazy indeed, a koi fish can be more than $1 million. But once again, what's so unique about kohaku? Kohaku, which is called the king of koi fish, is the first variety of koi fish, which was developed with two colors, namely white and red. Japan is a country steeped in tradition, and they use the beautiful language of colors in their art, dresses, phrases, and rituals. Even though Western influences have changed several associations of colors, especially in art and dresses, some of the traditional color meanings are still valid today. Many colors are considered auspicious or lucky by the Japanese people. Some colors are important at weddings and other rituals. There are even timeless rules associated with kimono colors. The color red in Japanese culture denotes strength, passion, self-sacrifice, and blood. It is the color that gets the blood flowing. Red bean rice is served on auspicious occasions. Many phrases such as embarrassment to death, growing red with anger, deficit spending or losses, or complete stranger, are denoted with the Japanese word for red, which is aka. Many shrines and temples are red, and this fact has a very ancient meaning. Since time immemorial, the color red was seen as a way to scare away evil spirits. In old times, Shinto priests were dressed in red, and now red aprons and caps often cover the sculptures of Jizo or Kitsune. During Shinto festivals, tables covered with red cloths and red carpets are used. Red is the color of festivals, and festival zones are marked by curtains with red and white stripes. The symbolic meaning of red is peace and the prosperity of the family. In kabuki theater performances, red stripes on the actors' faces means justice. White is the color of snow, which can mean starting on a blank page, returning to the roots, and treating someone coldly. This peaceful color stands for purity and truth, but can also denote death and mourning. The color white, or shiro in Japanese, is considered a sacred color of the gods. It is the symbol of spiritual and physical purity. Since old times, the Emperor of Japan used to dress in white clothes for the main Shinto rituals. A bride's dress and head covering for the traditional Shinto wedding is white. However, in Buddhism, the color white also means death, and white attributes have been used for the ritual samurai suicide called seppuku. Funeral zones are marked with curtains featuring white and black stripes. Red and white are prominent traditional colors in Japan. Both colors are used in decorations at events that represent happiness and joy. People also wear these colors at important ceremonies such as weddings, birthdays, and other life events. But symbolically, red and white are often counterposed in Japan. White is a symbol of masculinity and red is a symbol of femininity, and these qualities are what are set in contrast to each other, complementary and discrete rather than opposite. The national cult of fertility, Shinto, is all about celebrating this. The national flag expresses this. Schoolchildren's caps are reversible red and white for group activities. Festive rice cakes are paired red and white, and there are all sorts of red and white motifs found elsewhere. You'll even see red and white as the theme of the most celebrational event of the year, the singing contest leading up to midnight on New Year's Eve. The red markings are traditionally referred to as hi, meaning red, and shiro, meaning white. Examining the kohaku pattern of any variety containing red marks can help you determine its quality. Initially, kohaku are divided into two different types, namely the first type, a purplish red color pattern, with most of them being yellowish, in the nose area, but with age, these markings will fade. Then the second type is an orange-red fish with a sharp margin between the two colors. But later on, as we encounter today, there was only one stream of this kohaku. Historically, the kohaku breed is believed to be one of the first ornamental carp varieties to be developed, apart from asagi and hyatsuri. This variety dates back to 1888, when a man named Kanizo Hiroi bred a red-headed female koi, with one of the males whose markings resembled cherry blossoms. That breeding created the Gosuke bloodline, which is now extinct. Today, the Tomoin kohaku and the Yagosan kohaku are the two main kohaku bloodlines remaining in Japan. This fish remains one of the most popular koi fish breeds in Japan. Besides that, the kohaku type is the main type in the koi show race anywhere. Like a boxing match, kohaku is the heavyweight. Beginner koi lovers usually choose kohaku as the first choice in their pond. After trying to keep other types of koi, they finally return to keeping kohaku as their collection. Kohaku are chosen by fans because kohaku are simple koi, but very elegant and graceful. Likewise, heavyweight hobbyists, who are fond of participating in shows, are not yet masters, if they have never won before, in the kohaku class. Due to that, the quality pressure on the kohaku types also became heavy. The demands for perfection are very high, similar to the extraordinary criticism of netizens. Body shape. Kohaku koi fish, and other types of koi, is the first important factor, which is evaluated in determining the quality of koi. The ideal body shape for koi is like a torpedo, which is round and long. When viewed from above, the back looks slightly wider than the head, or what is commonly known as bulky, or chubby, or stocky. Koi bodies are not too skinny or too short or midgets. The shape of the head also resembles an oval. A good koi body shape is that the back looks a little wider than the head. Dynamic, sexy, curvaceous. Because if it's too thin, it will look like a catfish. It's embarrassing that the neighbors will comment on, "The father raises koi or raises catfish." Shame, thought not to feed. After all, besides the body, the color composition is also important. To have an eye-catching kohaku koi, the red color pattern must be slightly more dominant than the white color. Its composition varies from 60 to 70%. That is, if you pay attention to it as a whole, the color of the red pattern is 60 to 70%, the rest is white. If the composition of the red color is smaller than the white color, the overall pattern arrangement looks bad, which means that the distance between the red patterns looks too far. Moreover, male koi tend not to be white, but yellow, prone to ugly fish appearance. For kohaku pattern composition, it's best to form a balanced red pattern that extends from head to tail. The distance between motifs must also look balanced, not too narrow or too far apart. The red pattern of the conform kohaku should extend at least to the middle of the body. Do not collect in certain areas of the body only. The red pattern on the back of kohaku should appear wide and narrower towards the tail. Also, there should be some distance between the last red pattern before it hits the tail. This is called the odome, or ageme, the spacing of colors on the tail. This spacing is like the frame for the whole painting, which support the highlight and focus to the red painting over the white canvas. These minimum requirements are not greedy things, but should be understood as a structural art concept. Maybe you ask, what is pattern about? What is meant by pattern here is the red color on the back of the koi, which when viewed from above will form a pattern, a certain colored block. The red color pattern for kohaku, also known as steps, or color blocks. You can see, the red pattern on a good kohaku is 2 or 3 dominant blocks of color. Just 2 dots of a color block are called nidan, while 3 dots of a color block are called sandan. If the number of color blocks is only 1, aka extending from head to tail, it seems too simple. This means it's better if it's a 2 or 3 point color block, whichever is more dynamic in the pattern. Meanwhile, if there are too many motifs, such as 5 dots of color blocks, called godan, or more, then the motifs will look small and messy. Specifically on the head, the good kohaku is the one with a fairly large red patch on its head. Ideally, the red pattern on the head should not cover the koi's eyes. If there is a red color pattern that touches the eye, it is allowed as long as it is only one eye. All conform kohaku fins and tail also must be free of red pattern, full white. Even if it's just a red spot, for example on the fins or tail, it will reduce the quality of the kohaku, it's a messy mess. The red pattern when viewed from the side should extend towards the belly, at least in the middle of the koi fish's body. Do not just above it, from the side it will look just plain white. Because it's kohaku, not shiroji. If anyone asks, where can we buy kohaku koi fish? We can choose and buy koi fish at the fish market, or koi farm. But in terms of price, clearly different. The price of koi fish at the fish market is of course cheaper than the price of koi fish farmers. This price difference is due to the fact that the quality of koi fish at farmers is generally better than at fish markets. However, that doesn't mean that the koi fish in the fish market are all bad. If we are careful, we can get koi fish at the fish market with good quality but at a lower price. But back again to the awareness of your economic capabilities. If you are very capable, it is highly recommended to buy imported koi at a koi importer. But if you are too poor, it's better not to force yourself to keep koi. It is better if the remaining money is saved to pay loans. Then, what is good food for this kohaku koi? Simply put, good feed is expensive feed on the market. For example like the JPD brand, Saki Hikari, Hisilk, or in the cheap class there is Hiroyuki. There are also very cheap ones, such as eel feed, or farmer farmed pellets for tilapia. They actually have a good high protein too. But actually there are ingredients that are considered other than protein, namely spirulina for color, and wheat germ, or wheat germ protein, for clean koi color. But it's been proven anyway, the more expensive the better. After all, kohaku is easy to care for. Kohaku will be able to use the same fish care used for koi. These fish can be kept outdoors in cold conditions as they tolerate cold climates. While the kohaku is certainly not the most complex or initially stunning koi fish, it does have a regal presence which puts it head and fins above other koi varieties. The simplicity of the kohaku's balanced markings along with the contrast of the red against white make it the embodiment of peace and harmony, and that is what make the kohaku the kings of koi fish.